Hello friends, welcome again to this next lecture of computer science. Today we are going to start with our first lesson of first paper, that is operating system. So basically what is operating system? In the last year we learn about the hardware using for the computer like CPU, peripheral components you have studied about it like monitor, keyboard, mouse, different types of interfaces you are using. So these all are hardware. How they are get connected, how that computer come to know which operation is going on and what has to be done with that operation. So it is understand by that CPU with the help of operating system. Basically operating system is a software that works as an interface between user and computer hardware. The primary objective of an operating system is to make the system convenient to use and to utilize computer hardware in efficient manner. For that purpose, there are two goals. The first, to manage hardware and software resources of the computer system like processor, memory, disk space, etc. And second is to provide stable and consistent way of application to deal with. That is, we are using different application program like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, etc. So these programs will run through operating system only. Without operating system they cannot work properly or they cannot utilize hardware as we require. Suppose we are typing something in a Word document and we want to take print of that document. So whatever we are typed, that actually get print out due to operating system used by the computer. So here we are going to learn detail about the operating system in this lecture series. Basically we divide this operating system in its three departments. We can say that area of working of operating system or services provided by it is divided into three types. First is information management, which is related to file and file handling functions. So this department relate to the different file operations or file related operations like read operation. It means to read the information which is stored in the file. Write operation, inserting some information into the file. Rename or change of file name. Copy the file content to the another location. Sorting or arranging content of file. Move the file from one place to another place, delete a file, create a link to the file. That is, if we want to put that file in another file or we want to make a link of that file with another file, then run file display output and close a file. So these are important system calls in information management. Question asked for 3 marks in exams. What are system calls in information management? So you have to write at least 6 calls. Each call carries half mark for this. Okay. So what are that call? I am repeating it again. Read operation, write operation, change name of operation, copy file from one location to another location, sorting a file, moving a file, delete a file, create a link to the file, execute a file and close a file. Simple calls are there related to files. Now in the forward lecture we are looking about the concept related to information management. We are going in detail of that information management. So what is basically file? File is a collection of data. Different data we are collecting in different format. That in second topic of this paper 1, data structure, we learn how to collect that data and how to arrange that data so that we can retrieve it easily. So in file we are collecting data. Now to store data we use different systems. There are basically two systems used to store the files. One is tape based system, which is old one, and now in this we are using disk based system. So in tape based system we are using long tape, physical magnetic tape, on which information is stored in the form of magnetic pits. So we are running that tape. First we are including the directory, what information we are storing on that tape initially, and then record the tape according to our data. But tape based system has some drawbacks. First, we require long tape to record the things. Secondly, we cannot have direct access to any file or any folder or any information that we want. We have to go through step by step. Okay, we cannot get direct access using tab-based system. So whenever we want to search some information, it is very difficult in tab-based system to get that information quickly. Also, that tabs are get damaged by fungus, or they easily that magnetic field, external magnetic field can damage the information. The disk-based system earlier uses magnetic part only, but in the form of disks, which is divided into this. See, look, tracks and sectors. The circular part, concentric circles, are called as tracks, while that conical sections made over the circle are called as sectors. And you can see that yellow width is between distance between two tracks, and that blue shape. So that blue part is part of sector. Now this disc rotated continuously, and we move from center to peripheral to read that track and sector wise data. So here data is stored according to address of tracks and sector. It is easy to retrieve them. If we write track and sector name, we can directly access to that data instead of going stepwise. So accessing data is very easy. And nowadays these magnetic tapes are replaced by hard disks or aluminum discs or metallic discs, metal oxide surface discs. So more information can be stored in small space. You might know, if you have a personal computer at your home, then its hard disk is in terabytes, isn't it? Is in TB. At least it is in GB. So a small part of that thin metal plates, we can store large amount of data. So what are important terms related to this? The seek time, which is asked in the exam for 1 mark. Seek time is the time to access the surface. We must specify the surface of track and sector. The time required for read-write head to move to the correct track is called as seek time. Okay, so you are finding these tracks, different tracks over here, they are numbered. So to get that exact track, the time required is called as seek time. Second is latency time, the waiting time for reading the required sector to rotate below the head. That is this blue section, to rotate below that head, that time is called as latency time. Okay, and another is block size. When we are arranging such disks one above the other, then a continuous sector form a block, and that block contains information. Now when we are storing the data, there may cause internal fragmentation or external fragmentation. Internal fragmentation is the space wasted inside of allocated memory blocks, and external fragmentation is a space wasted externally, or when memory and small pieces left over that cannot be effectively used. Okay, memory which is externally cannot be effectively used. So these are the storing of files or storing of information using tape-based or disk-based system. In the next lecture, we are going to see about the file operations, different file operations, what are that. Then how to allocate a file. There are 3 different methods: continuous allocation, linked allocation, and index allocation, and different algorithms used for that. Okay, so for today's lecture, this is all, and you have to remember 2 things. Take down 2 questions related to this. First, what is operating system? Give implementation operating system in computer. And question 2, what are different system calls in information management? Question number 3, give differences between disk based system and tape based system. Okay, thank you.